Let's go Browns! What if everything you thought you knew about the Cleveland Browns 2025 season was about to change, and not for the reasons you expected? Picture this, a key defensive star being carried off the field in tears, the quarterback's room overflowing with drama, and rumors swirling not about this season, but about a future draft pick who hasn't even declared for the NFL yet. Meanwhile, a surprise retirement causes a commotion in the locker room, and just as fans are begging for stability, the front office may already be looking 2 years ahead. It sounds like the script of a football thriller, but this is the true chaos unfolding inside Berea. Amid all this noise, one pressing question keeps arising. Is this the foundation for a playoff run, or the first warning signs of another Browns implosion? Stick with me, because what's happening behind the scenes is far more intense and more revealing than any box score or training camp headline. You'll want to hear the whole story. I'll tell you all the details, but first, make sure to hit the like button if you've been a Browns fan for over 16 years. It's great to see fans of all ages. The utmost respect. Now, I want to ask you something. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate Kevin Stefanski as the Browns coach? Comment below. Let's get straight to the point. Martin Emerson, one of the Browns' key cornerbacks, was carted off the field during practice after suffering a serious leg injury. Reports from Mary Kay Cabot described him as being in tears, an immediate and terrifying sign for anyone familiar with the mental and physical toll these moments can bring. For a team looking to build depth and resilience in its defensive backfield, Emerson's potential absence sends ripples through the Browns' secondary plans. It's more than just an injury, it's yet another pivotal player the team may have to do without, right as camp intensity reaches its peak. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. The Browns' offseason has been anything but smooth. From the surprising retirement of linebacker Jordan Hicks to the uncertain buzz surrounding Quinn Ewers and Quinton Judkins, the franchise seems locked in a pattern of disruption. The Cleveland faithful are asking themselves, when does this whirlwind end? And most importantly, can this team hold together long enough to show us what it's truly capable of in 2025? And then there's the quarterback room, perhaps the most scrutinized group heading into the season. With Joe Flacco expected to be the starter heading into Week 1, the Browns are balancing a mix of seasoned experience and raw, untested youth. Kenny Pickett, who had been showing strong flashes in training camp, injured his hamstring in practice. According to Adam Schefter, the injury will be reevaluated later in the week, but in the meantime, that opens the door for more reps from Flacco, Dillon Gabriel, and Shatter Sanders. Here's where the speculation kicks into high gear. NFL rumors reported that Cleveland is expected to cut one of the quarterbacks on the current roster. Let's run through the options. Joe Flacco isn't going anywhere. His veteran presence is considered foundational. Dillon Gabriel and Shatter Sanders are rookies, loaded with upside and promise. So, that leaves Kenny Pickett, now dealing with a hamstring issue and already considered the odd man out. Despite showing promise, he could be the first quarterback casualty if the Browns decide they can't carry 4 QBs into the season. What makes this entire scenario even murkier is the bizarre twist in the rumor mill involving Arch Manning. That's right, Arch Manning. Tony Rizzo brought up that Jimmy Haslam is supposedly enamored with the idea of drafting the young Manning prodigy, a move so far in the future it has Browns fans scratching their heads. The rumor suggests that Haslam's admiration might have even been part of the reasoning behind acquiring an additional first-round pick in 2026. While nothing is confirmed, it paints a picture of a front office that might be looking far beyond the current roster and this season's goals. The question becomes, is the organization too distracted by potential future opportunities to focus on developing the talent they already have? Gabriel and Sanders are both in the early stages of their NFL journeys. Sanders, in particular, is an intriguing prospect. Though he fell to the 5th round, he was once considered a possible first or second round talent. At 6 feet 2 inches, with a strong arm and better than average mobility, there's real potential there. Gabriel, meanwhile, is widely seen as a potential backup for the long haul, a bridge QB who can manage games but isn't likely to become a franchise centerpiece. Still, if Haslam is publicly or privately musing about Arch Manning's future in Cleveland, it could mean Sanders and Gabriel may not get the attention and investment they need to develop into true contenders. And that's a dangerous gamble for a franchise that's trying to maintain momentum after years of rebuilding and recalibrating. So let's ask the question that's on every fan's mind. How many quarterbacks do you honestly think will see the field for Cleveland this season? Will injuries, performance issues, or strategic moves force the Browns to cycle through all three, Flacco, Gabriel, and Sanders? Based on what we're seeing right now, it's a legitimate possibility. While 2 might be a safe bet, Don't be surprised if the Browns end up needing all three at different points across the season. This kind of uncertainty is exactly what makes the current moment so pivotal. There's potential on this roster, real talent that could shine if nurtured correctly. But there's also confusion, distraction, and a bit of front office chaos that could derail the Browns before the season even begins. Whether or not this chaos can be turned into fuel for success remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, every Browns fan needs to keep a close eye on what's happening in Berea. And just when you thought that was enough controversy to keep any front office busy, the Browns coaching staff and front office may now be facing one of the most critical inflection points in recent franchise history. The looming decisions around roster cuts, particularly at the quarterback position, could reshape the narrative of this upcoming season. Kenny Pickett, whose arrival stirred cautious optimism, may be on the brink of being released due to an untimely injury and the rise of younger, high-upside prospects. That's not just a personnel decision, that's a philosophical one. What kind of team do the Cleveland Browns want to be? Are they going to lean into a veteran-laden strategy built around Joe Flacco's steadiness and deep ball precision, or are they willing to roll the dice with rookies like Shatter Sanders who could electrify the offense but come with growing pains? This isn't Madden. These are real contracts, real players, and real careers being shaped by decisions made over the next few weeks. Sanders' fall to the 5th round doesn't erase the evaluations that once placed him in the top 2 rounds. If the Browns give him time, half a season as many insiders predict, he might just show flashes of brilliance that hint at a long-term solution. Now think about Dillon Gabriel. Accuracy, timing, ball placement, traits that make him a reliable option. Yet, is reliability enough in a league increasingly dominated by improvisational brilliance and raw athleticism? That's the challenge with Gabriel. He might be your perfect backup, your safety net. But does he truly have starter potential? The staff must decide whether that's a risk worth taking or whether he's destined to carry a clipboard for most of his career. And that's not a knock. Many great teams have thrived because they had dependable backups. But dependable doesn't always win you championships. Meanwhile, looming over all of this is the elephant in the room, ownership's fascination with Arch Manning. Even with his minimal playing time at Texas, even with questions about his readiness for the pro level, Jimmy Haslam's unmatched thirst, as Tony Rizzo put it, suggests a long game play that could totally undercut the present. Haslam's connection to the Manning family is no secret. His admiration could be sincere, and his vision long-term. But Browns fans aren't worried about 2026. They're worried about September. They're worried about week 1, about getting off to a strong start, and about finally seeing a season not derailed by injuries, front office distractions, or quarterback controversies. What's particularly frustrating is that this team has real pieces to be excited about. A defense that, when healthy, can stack up with any in the league. Emerging talent in the receiver core. An offensive line that, when clicking, can open lanes and protect the pocket effectively. But none of that matters if the quarterback carousel spins out of control. That's what fans are bracing for, a repeat of seasons past where instability under center turns potential into purgatory. And for Martin Emerson, whose injury could sideline him for a significant portion of the season, the ramifications extend far beyond a depth chart shuffle. Emerson was poised for a breakout year. His instincts, speed, and ability to shadow receivers were going to be a cornerstone of the Browns secondary. His absence puts more pressure on younger defensive backs and may force the Browns to explore free agency for veteran replacements. Depth is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. And with Emerson potentially out, the margin for error just shrank dramatically. Let's not overlook the emotional toll this takes either. Emerson's reaction, tears as he was carted off the field, speaks volumes about what's at stake. These aren't just players, they're people. They train year-round, put their bodies through punishment, and live for those moments on the field. When that's ripped away in a blink, it's devastating. The locker room feels that. The coaches feel that. And fans, they carry that weight too. Because in Cleveland, football is more than a sport, it's part of the city's soul. So where do the Browns go from here? The logical move is to give Flacco the reins early. Let him stabilize the